Kevin Hart's BET special, The Only Real Husband of Hollywood, by Damian Avenger. Comedian Kevin Hart was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on July 3, 1980. During his youth, his father Henry spent a significant time in jail, leaving young Kevin without a male figure. To cope with the void in his life, Kevin used comedy as a vice to do away with the pain of his youth. The hardships of Kevin's life will provide the source of his routines. Some of Kevin Hart's influences in comedy are Chris Tucker and his close friend J.B. Smoove. Success was inevitable. After competing and winning several stand-up competitions, he began performing on a comedy circuit nationwide. In 2006, Kevin Hart released his first stand-up special, I'm a Grown Little Man, which gave him the status of one of comedy's future stars. 4 years later, he released another special, Seriously Funny, which was bigger than the first. Kevin Hart was then labeled a full-fledged star after his concert documentary, Laugh at My Pain. With the success in stand-up, Kevin Hart ventured into films. His list of films include Scary Movie 3 in 2002, Soul Plane in 2004, The 5-Year Engagement in 2011, and Think Like a Man in 2012. Kevin Hart decided to take a comedic spin on the Real Housewives of series and created The Real Husbands of Hollywood. The show follows Kevin Hart and some of his married celebrity friends. The series has each actor play a fictitious and comical version of themselves. The show includes J.B. Smoove, Nick Cannon, Boris Kodjoe, Dwayne Martin, and Robin Thicke. Kevin Hart would do a one-night only stand-up performance. The purpose behind the show is to promote the second season of The Real Husbands of Hollywood. The reason this event will be a success is due to the overwhelming success of Kevin Hart as a stand-up comic. And Kevin Hart is one of the hottest comedians out right now. The show is titled The Only Real Husband of Hollywood. This live performance will take place at the Chicago Theater. The comedy event will be shown on the BET network on Thursday, October 10th at 8 p.m. Central Time. The building that is referred to as the Wonder Theater of the World first opened its doors in 1921. This lavish movie palace was the first of its kind nationwide and has been a prototype for every theater since then. The Chicago Theater seats 3,600 patrons. The 6-story Chicago sign and the marquee are landmarks in themselves. This establishment is so rich with history and with Chicago having a rich history in comedy that is only fitting to add Kevin Hart's name to a long list of premier comedians that have graced that stage. A vendor will sell t-shirts during the performance. The shirts will feature the entire cast of Season 1. The amount the vendor will need to pay for these shirts will be $24,048. They will then turn around and sell the shirts for $30 each, which would generate $108,000. Since a deal was made with Kevin Hart receiving 30% of that revenue, he will take in $32,400 on top of his pay for performing. Now we will take a look at the venue schedule. At 8 a.m., preparing the room for Kevin Hart. 10 a.m., meet Kevin Hart and his team to go over any last-minute details. 11 a.m., prepare the venue for concessions and merchandise sales. 12:30, they take lunch. At 2 p.m. is sound and lighting check without the artist. 3:30 is complete a walkthrough of the venue and check on the artist. 4 p.m. completing a dinner's request based off of the backstage rider. 5 p.m. set up stage. 7 p.m. sound check with artists, and 8 p.m. is showtime. While the venue is setting up for the performance, the artist Kevin Hart has a schedule as well. 7:30 a.m. make a guest appearance on WGN Morning News. 8:30 a.m. he departs to the Chicago Theater. While in transit, 9 a.m. he has breakfast. He arrives at the Chicago Theater at 10 a.m. At 11 a.m. he departs to go to WGCI's radio station to promote the show. 12:30 he departs again to the Chicago Theater. While out, 1 o'clock he has lunch. He arrives back at the Chicago Theater at 2 o'clock. Well, around 2:30 he takes a break and relax. At 4 o'clock he then gets prepared for the concert. 5 p.m. he has dinner based off of the backstage rider. 7 p.m. is a sound check, and 8 p.m. is showtime. While visiting the great city of Chicago, Kevin Hart will stay at the Trump International Hotel and Tower. He will stay in a deluxe king suite that has a river view. The room features a spacious living room with 10-foot floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. The room includes a fully equipped kitchen with an island for that home-away-from-home feeling. This room features a lavish bathroom with imported limestone that has a soaking tub, glass-enclosed shower, and in-mirror TV portal. Finally, this room has a dining room that seats 8. Now we will take a look at the backstage rider that Kevin Hart's team presented to the venue prior to performance. When conducting the setup for any show, there could be possible risks. The first risk we thought about is low ticket sales. The consequence of that will be loss of money and or low profit. The action trigger would be to reschedule the show and or replace Kevin Hart with JB Smoove and Robin Thicke. The response plan is to give away free tickets via the radio stations. Another risk is a transportation issue. The consequence is a late show. The action trigger is to give drivers the GPS and or have a known Chicago artist on standby just in case Kevin Hart is late. The response plan is to keep all outside activities within 5 miles of Chicago Theater. Lastly, a third risk would be Kevin Hart has become ill. The consequence of that will be loss of money and or canceling the show. The action trigger will be to reschedule the show and or replace Kevin Hart with JB Smoove and Robin Thicke. The response plan is to have Kevin Hart with the appropriate health insurances to make sure everything is okay. Let's take a look at our financial statement. Starting with income, ticket sales generated $225,180. Merchandising from t-shirts is $32,400 for a gross income of $257,580. Now let's take a look at the expenses. Booking the venue and staff, $6,000. Advertising costs, $25,000. Stage equipment and props, $500. Security, $1,000. The items obtained for the backstage rider, $307. Transportation, $900. Accommodations, $4,217.36. The performer's salary, $100,000, and the management fee and expenses, $10,000, for a total expense of $147,924.36. If you subtract the gross income from the total expenses, you will get a net profit of $109,655.64. I have learned that it takes tedious work to plan, initiate, and execute one performance. I had to spend at least 5 hours a day doing research on the best prices for equipment, transportation, accommodations, and items to make my client happy. The last piece of information that gives me the best sense of the individual that I'm dealing with are their backstage writers. I understand that these individuals are stars. Some are even superstars. But I believe that some of these requests are just outlandish.